My name is Will. I go by Simpliciphobia, aka Sir Will on Instagram, Twitter, wherever you want to find me. And I'm a visual content creator here in Charlotte. This was a project I started about 4 or 5 years ago. Originally, the project started off as just a way to follow and talk with different people I think that are doing really cool things and really creative things and that are pretty much living their passion, their dream, and came up with Create Happy. Something very simple, very easy, but it started off, I believe, last year where I put up an actual affirmation wall at the Dublin Swap Plaza location. I came back in surprised to see a lot of people fill out the wall and just pretty much say their own positive affirmations towards their future and their life. And that just gave me an idea of where I wanted to go from here. Too often I'm working with creators and I see them posting things on Instagram that almost kind of feel like a cry for help, as in I'm creating, but I'm so depressed, I'm so this, I'm so that. I'm just like, if you're making stuff and doing what you want to do, why are you still in this headspace? You're supposed to be doing it to feel better, get better. Yes, I know we have a lot of things that happen in our lives, but why are you doing something that's not helping you? So with the Create Happy project, I decided to basically talk to different creatives and people that I consider friends and just figure out where their thought process were on some of the things that are going on currently.
My name is Chad Cartwright, Chadwick. I'm a visual artist, photographer, and collage artist, based in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hey everyone, my name is Davita Galloway. I currently reside in Charlotte, North Carolina. Here I do a few different things here in the city. I co-own Dublin Swap with my brother, my better half. It's a creative studio where we serve as a platform for local creators. I am the executive director of a nonprofit, Groundkeepers. I am a host, I'm a speaker, I am a disruptor, I am a creative, I am colorful, I am in love with this woman that I'm getting to know. I am a sister and aunt, I am real, I am powerful, and falling in love with the voice that I have.
One of the biggest things I found out in research on that a lot of scientists in schools said that depression and anxiety and stuff like that is actually directly correlated with creative careers. As in, they don't know if being a creative means that you already have mental issues or if the art itself is creating mental issues. So what do you kind of think about that?
Well, mental issue, I believe all artists we all have our quirks. And I think it's because of those quirks that we're able to do what we do, and that's how we express ourselves. That's what I think. But I mean, I guess with that there is, if we want to call it mental health issues, yeah, I mean.
Now, I will say I did kind of paraphrase that a little bit because I read like 4 different studies and the general term was mental health issues.
I know personally, if you want to call it depression or mental health issue, yeah, I go through the gamut of all those emotions. But I don't know if it's because of my work. It may be because of the stress, because I use my creativity as it's my passion. It's how I make money. It is my business. And so I think using it in that capacity, it can cause some stress, because if I don't work, if I don't do this or that, then I'm not getting paid. No money. So I'm not getting paid. However, on the other hand, I see it as a gift simply because I use it as an outlet. I use it to express myself. Like, I'm not holding anything in. You know, I feel like a lot of people, they don't know how to express themselves. Well, not a lot of people. Some people choose not to express themselves. I, on the other hand, don't have a problem doing that. And I think because I'm comfortable with just getting it out, whatever it is, I'm not harboring any thoughts or emotions or feelings.
I don't think it's really mental health related, but I do think it's as far as like the way the society perceives people, is the deeper you get into your creativity, the deeper you get outside of, in order to really go into your creative process, like you really have to escape from societal norms, societal constructs.
Dig deeper into like yourself and your emotions.
Yeah, and just really kind of understand like how you feel about things, what you like, what you want to see, how you feel things should work, what things really would make you happy as opposed to the things that people tell you should make you happy. I think that those, and then I think when people kind of act on those things, and then it's difficult to have conversations with everybody else because everybody's kind of working within this framework that's been set for them. I think often they're perceived as crazy.
If you're a creative entrepreneur,
Yeah.
then yeah, it can cause stress because, like we just said, we're not working and we don't make any money, so we have to go super duper hard, you know.
And it almost feels like sometimes that we're going a little bit harder and it stresses out a little bit more just because we are creators of color where you can see someone doing the exact same thing as you, maybe not as good.
Yeah.
Complexion.
Oh my gosh, all the time. I mean, I feel like we always have to go above and beyond to prove ourselves. Like always, in every arena of life, I feel like we have to. Like we don't get a pass. Like we don't have the opportunity to fuck up. Can I say that? Or to mess up. Or to fuck up. You know, we don't have that leisure. We don't have the luxury of being able to do that. Like we have to show up every time. Every time, because every time really matters for us.
My name is Kerry J. King. I am a photographer in Charlotte, North Carolina. My subject, or what I try to focus on, is architecture as well as portraiture. Coming from a family that mental illness is something that was very noticeable, but wasn't really talked about until recent years. So I feel that it is very important. Like I started noticing it as a kid, like with my granddad. You know, he ran away at 13, joined the military at 14, and saw a lot of things in Vietnam that he probably shouldn't have seen, and then it affected him in his older years. And that was stuff I didn't really grasp until recently, but it's definitely something that should be talked about more, especially in the Black community. It was just therapy, going out and seeing like different things and approaching things differently.
Hello, my name is Adam Davis, and I am a Charlotte, North Carolina photographer.
My name is Dominique Davis, and I am a content creator located in Charlotte, North Carolina. Well, I feel like I definitely think there's a correlation between people who have mental illness and the ability to articulate it through art. I definitely feel like there's a correlation there, but I think that that's the only tie, is that it's a way to articulate, because mental illness is two words to cover a whole umbrella of different things, and a big fraction of that umbrella is trauma, and one of the best ways to relieve the weight of trauma is art. So it's an escape for a lot of people, but I definitely will use art to prepare my son to deal, because art's private, art's between you and yourself, and it's the best way to like see a reflection of yourself without involving the rest of the world.
And so one of the biggest things with creativity is a lot of times, a lot of artists, especially artists of color, this is what I'm mostly focusing on. We already have our problems with anxiety, depression, something like that just in our everyday lives, and we create from it. But I've started noticing that there's becoming kind of a bigger fad with newer artists, and rappers that you might know, or it's like local artists in the area that create negativity and pain, but they don't seem to get better from it. It's like, I'm creating upsets, I'm taking all these drugs and stuff like that, and I'm just gonna stay that way. My question with that one is, why are so many people afraid to just kind of be happy? Carl is create happy, of course, get to a better space. Why are you creating the same thing as soon as that's not good?
Like there's no, I completely agree. I've felt that way for a long time. I wish I could remember it. There's a really awesome quote that a local artist shared with me, and it was about like artists who are they create very well from their pain, and it kind of leads to genius. It was basically along the lines of like when your pain is bigger than your genius, like it's a problem. So it's like a lot of times like people can kind of pull from their pain, but they can never really get out of it. I think it's good to pull from pain, and I think it's very easy to pull from pain. But I tend to imagine that like it's equally as easy to pull from joy. Like to me, like if you can feel intense pain, and then you can use that as a catalyst for creating, then it's like, well, you can feel intense pleasure, like hopefully you can. And then I never understood why for people that isn't a thing of, something that inspires people.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say they're afraid to be happy. Especially coming from a male point of view, I feel like they are afraid to be happy because they're gonna show a sensitive side to them, and it's gonna show them that you're weak. It's gonna show the crowd or their audience that they're weak and they can't basically defend for themselves or provide for themselves or anyone else. Basically, be masculine. And if they're afraid to create happy, they're gonna sink back into themselves and build up a depression within themselves as well.
I completely agree with that. I feel like that's an example of like a man who doesn't want to show his emotions, so he puts everything into his masculinity. But I feel like that can be said for a woman, a group or a race of people who fear being happy because as a group, they haven't been exposed to the lifestyle of just being allowed to be. There always has to be some type of complication or some type of minute drama, no matter how small. It's just like a state of just being is not accessible to a lot of different types of people, whether it's people who are choosing to hide in their masculinity or people who are choosing to hide behind the pain of being Black.
I mean, on my end, again, I'm just grateful that people are talking about it. However they're talking about it, at least we're releasing that into the world, because in our community, particularly, we just don't want we just sweep things under the rug, right? Or we all have that. People say we all have that uncle who stays in the room. Oh, he just sick, or he don't come out. What's wrong with Uncle James? Why can't Uncle James come out? Let's talk. What's really going on?
Right in the head.
He not right. But what's wrong? Why he not right in the head? Like, we have all these other ways of saying. We just need to say the thing and address the thing, because once we address it, then it's like it's almost like we take the power away from it, and by focusing on it and figuring it out, like we have to do these things to live our best life. So don't you want to live your best life?
Yes.
Okay, as do I.
So how are you living your best life?
How am I living my best life? I'm avoiding fuckboys. No, I'm not. I had to say that because that's just what I say. I am creating my own happy. I'm creating my own happy, and I've been doing that for a long time now. So that taking some time for me, self-care.
Oh, that is so important.
It is so important. And I go literally all the time. And I mean, last year I was sick. Crohn's was like literally killing me, and I got down to like 118 pounds, and I was in so much pain, and I was working through everything. But it got to the point where my family, they literally kidnapped me and took me to the hospital, and I had to have surgery. Like, it was crucial, it's critical that I do. But just taking time for me.
Being happy is hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's like anything negative it'll come easy to you. Like, being a mean person or, being a smart ass, which is sometimes my issue. Like, that's something that is very easy, but to be happy, it takes work. It's something that you have to work at. Changing your perspective, which is also work. So I think people don't want to put the time in. Or not even that they don't want to, it's just they get, consumed or overwhelmed with the work process or the process.
Okay. So what makes you happy?
I'm still trying to figure that out. And that's not, being what makes me happy, or at least in my opinion, I feel like what's going to make you happy changes constantly.
I guess the better question would be, what genuinely excites you?
Me, learning the ins and outs of something new.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, like I'm very much into psychology and how the mind works. So like that's my new thing for like the next few months or a couple years. Like I just want to figure out people. Honestly, like coming from like a very religious, strict background, I didn't really associate with anybody that didn't have that same background. So now I want to understand how people work. I want to understand like, you know, where or how different things in people's lives impacted and changed their course. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize like that little thing that you didn't think affected you, it did. And I'm learning that with myself too. So yeah, just learning how things work, how people work,
Okay.
excites me.